After 2 seasons of losing the championship title to Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton is gearing up for another Formula One season. And let's just say, the 7-time world champion has his eyes set on a couple of records to mark his legacy once again. On the other hand, Hamilton isn't the only one trying to set a record this year. So which unbeatable record is next on the list for Hamilton? Let's find out. First off, Hamilton has a multi-year contract extension coming up. That's right, folks. Even though his original contract is supposed to terminate by the end of the upcoming season, it seems like Mercedes simply can't let go. In fact, the team boss, Toto Wolff, decided to set up a multi-year contract as Hamilton set his focus on a record-breaking 8th championship. If we're being honest, it looks like Hamilton isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Right after the heartbreak of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix back in 2021, where his 8th championship title was snatched quite controversially, the Brit was hoping to revenge in 2022. But we all know how that went. If anything, the 38-year-old only got things worse for himself and the team under the new regulations as they struggled to compete with other top teams like Ferrari and Red Bull with a not-so-competitive W13. It was one thing that their car was slow. On top of that, it harbored a severe porpoising issue that literally took months on end to fix. And as we saw, that put Hamilton out of contention for the 2022 championship title at a very crucial point. To make matters worse, the Brit couldn't even grab a single race win last year. Having said that, he claims that these struggles only made him hungrier than ever for the record-breaking 8th World Championship. In fact, it also explains the multi-year extension set up with Mercedes. And while Hamilton's got a lot on his plate, there are a bunch of other records Hamilton could break in 2023 if things finally go his way once again. On the other hand, his biggest rival, Max Verstappen, is eyeing another Hamilton record to mark his place in Formula One. Moving on, let's take a look at some of the unbeatable records set up for Hamilton and Verstappen. Coming up at number 9, we've got Grand Slams. Basically, in the world of Formula One, it means that a driver manages to grab a pole position, the fastest lap, and takes the victory at a Grand Prix. Basically, he just takes it all. Now, that's Schumacher's unbeatable record set at 22. As for Hamilton, while he's at 19, let's just say he's gonna need a perfect record if he wants to beat this one. First, he's gonna need at least 4 more race weekends where he'd have to grab pole positions and win every single race with the fastest lap. But the competition isn't just with the German driver for now, because if the 38-year-old could go one step further and record a pole position, fastest lap, and then lead every single lap on the way to victory about 3 more times, he's gonna surpass Jim Clark. And that's the F1 driver who managed his feat about 8 times in only 73 races. As for Schumacher, he's also set another record for the fastest laps with 77, while Hamilton's sitting on a 61. If he's gonna return with dominance in the upcoming season, he can easily break another record. As of now, he's already set a new record for most wins and pole positions in the world of Formula One. So if he keeps breaking records in 2023 and beyond, we've no doubt that he'll retire as one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time. Next up at number 7, most victories in one Grand Prix. Let's just say that while the 7-time champion set enough records to intimidate any young F1 driver, that's not the case for Verstappen. If anything, he's out there setting his eyes on another Hamilton record. As for his stunning performance in 2022, it got him 454 points over the course of the entire season, and that easily broke the Brits' record of 413 points. Having said that, Hamilton won about 31 different circuits, but there are 2 specific Grand Prix that we can't ever forget. As of now, he's got 8 wins to his name in Hungary and Britain, which stands equal to Schumacher's record of 8 wins in France. And last season, the Brit couldn't win a single race, but now this is a record he's planning to break once and for all. Following up at number 6, most pole positions at one Grand Prix. Now, you gotta admit, Hamilton can also break the record for most pole positions at one Grand Prix. In fact, As of now, the Mercedes driver shares the title with Schumacher and Ayrton Senna. Each of these drivers managed to grab 8 pole positions to their name within one Grand Prix. As for the Brit, he managed to do that in Australia and Hungary. And to make things more exciting, both of these races are back on the calendar in 2023. It's safe to say fans are setting huge expectations for the F1 driver, not to mention the most podiums in one season at number 5. Now, here's one record where Verstappen marked his name. It turns out, back in 2021, the Dutch driver set the record at 18 podium finishes in one season. As for last season, while he managed to grab another championship title, he still couldn't match the number once again. But let's just say he was pretty close at 17 podium finishes throughout the season. So the burning question on everyone's mind is, will Verstappen be able to break the record once again in 2023? Or is someone else gonna get to him before he does? It looks like we gotta wait to find out. Moving on to number 4, most wins in one season. Here's another record where Verstappen swooped in to claim victory. Right around the last season, the Dutch driver managed to set a new record with 15 victories. We're not gonna lie, that was definitely an incredible performance by the Red Bull driver. But then again, who knows if it was the start of a legacy or nothing more than a short-lived benchmark. On the other hand, Ferrari and Mercedes are gearing up to challenge Red Bull for the title in the upcoming season. Is this the start of Verstappen's dominance? We'll find out soon enough. Following up at number 3, most races for first win or podium. Now, we know that Nico Hülkenberg is making an epic comeback to the F1 grid with the Haas time right after a 2-year absence. Let's not forget, the German already has 184 Grand Prix entries, along with 181 race starts to his name. As for the record for most Grand Prix right before the win in Formula 1, Sergio Perez already claimed that. After all, he got his first win after 194 races. And the chances that Hülkenberg will be able to win a race with Haas in 2023 don't really seem promising. But when we're talking about F1, let's not forget that crazier things have happened. Right now, Hülkenberg has a record for most F1 races without a podium finish. If the German manages to jump to the top 3 this season, he'll beat the record for most F1 races for the first podium finish. As of now, Carlos Sainz claimed the current record with 101 races right before his top 3 finish. Coming up at number 2, most points without a single victory. We're not surprised, and neither should you be, but Hülkenberg also holds the record for most points without a win. On the other hand, there's another driver on the F1 grid that might be able to surpass the milestone. With about 428 points so far, Lando Norris is second on the list, hardly 93 points away from beating Hülkenberg. And since the F1 driver already managed to score over 122 points last season, we definitely think he has a chance at setting a new record in 2023. Up next, at number 1, the total number of races completed. Fernando Alonso is leading the game here with 281 races. On the other hand, Hamilton might be able to break the Spaniard's record in 2023 because he's already seen the finish line 280 times himself. So in the upcoming season, the reliability of Mercedes and Aston Martin is gonna be enough to decide who'll top the list by the end of the year. Like any other record, there's a lot that goes into Formula 1 that can determine how this goes. After all, there's a lot of unpredictability that comes with this sport, and whichever driver takes advantage of that is gonna be able to mark his legacy. Finally, Verstappen eyes another Hamilton record. Sure, Hamilton has a great chance at breaking a couple of unbeatable records, but the Red Bull driver is catching up too. In fact, it may be a matter of time before he finally manages to surpass the 7-time world champion. As of now, the Red Bull driver might be on the edge of breaking yet another Hamilton record in 2023. After all, we've seen him drive a pretty record-breaking season in 2022, from the most wins in a season at 15 to the most number of points in a season at 454. As of now, he's ready to set another record for the longest races with consecutive point finishes. And, might we add, that this record was previously held by his biggest rival, the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Yep, he's held the record for at least 48 races in a row. It started from the British Grand Prix back in 2018, all the way up to 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix. On top of that, Hamilton already held the record right after he wrapped up 33 races in the points between 2016 Japanese Grand Prix and the 2018 French Grand Prix. So, while Hamilton and Verstappen's rivalry started right after the controversial 2021 championship wrapped up at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, it seems like it's extending on to other records now. If anything, this is only gonna make their rivalry more interesting, as fans are glued to their seats every single weekend, just waiting to see which team manages to grab the win. That's a wrap for this video. Which one of these records could Lewis Hamilton break in 2023? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.